I'm doing a tag, and as the title says, it is the back to school book tag, even though you're probably all in school. Let's just call it the school book tag. What do you say? This was created by Jenny Unscripted, so her video will be linked down below, and I saw Sam from Novel and Nonsense do this, so her video is linked down below, even though I wasn't tagged. So let's get to this. English language arts. Your favorite writing style. I gotta go with the classic. I gotta go with The Lord of the Rings by J.R. Tolkien. He is a master wordsmith. I don't know if that's an actual term, but Ellie and I created it about me and about her writing and stuff. Anywho, that's what I'm gonna say for it. It is really, really well written. I love The Lord of the Rings. I don't think anyone has written half as well as he has. Math. A book that made you frustrated. Days of Blood and Starlight by Lanny Taylor. Yeah. The main character, yeah, she turned into Peter Pettigrew, a pansy, who was helping the enemy, and went back on everything she ever said, betrayed everyone she ever loved, everyone, betrayed herself. I hate the main character. In fact, this is almost one of my most hated books, except for every other character is a brilliant character, except her! Just... Science, a book that made you question or think. I'm going with the scriptures. I don't think anything other book has come even to 1/10 or made me rethink my life. 1/10 of the way that I feel every time I read the scriptures. And by the scriptures, I'm talking about the Holy Bible, King James Version, y'all, not the new translation crap. The Book of Mormon, Doctrine and Covenants, Pearl of Great Price. Yes, I'm a Mormon, so that's why I'm choosing it. But my entire religion is based on the fact that Joseph Smith was reading in the Bible and he had questions and no one would answer his questions. And in the Bible, in James, it says, if you have a question, ask God. He'll give you an answer. He doesn't hold things back from his children, and we're all children of God. So, duh. I'm like, that's the whole point of my religion, so I've done that many times. I've been reading things and I've had questions. I've gone to people and I've prayed about questions and I've gotten answers too. Social studies or history. Favorite book that takes place in a different time period. I talk about this a lot, but I'm gonna go with Rurouni Kenshin by Nobuhiro Watsuki. Rurouni Kenshin takes place in the Meiji era of Japan. This is the late 1800s, just after the Bakumatsu, during an era when there were lots of different little eras where the laws changed a lot and the rules were changing because Japan was becoming westernized and was advancing itself out of its feudal era and into the modern era that it is in today still. It follows the story of Kenshin, that's him, Kenshin Himura, who is a wandering samurai or Rurouni in an era when there is no samurai, and he has a sakubata, which means his blade on katana. The blade is on the outside, well, it's on the inside on his. It's a reverse blade sword. He runs into Karu Kamiya, and he eventually learns how to relive his life. It's a really powerful story. I love it, and I don't have many books that take place in other times, and this is one of them. Art, your favorite book with pictures. Of course, I'm gonna go with Full Metal Alchemist by Hiromu Arakawa. I love this series. This series follows Edward Elric and Alphonse Elric. Ed's the main character, he's like the secondary main character. They are alchemists in a world where instead of our type of science, their science is alchemy, and they commit the ultimate taboo. They try to resurrect a human through human transmutation. The reason it's taboo is because it can kill you. He lost his right arm and left leg. Alphonse lost his entire body and is just a soul bonded to the armor. They are trying to find something called a philosopher's stone, which is an alchemy product that will increase your alchemy, and they're hoping to get their bodies back by using it, and instead they get caught up into all this drama. They discover a secret about their country and it just takes off. It's really funny, it's really heart-wrenching. I have been rewatching the animated series and I cried recently while watching a funeral for a character, and there's a part that still, every time I think about it, rips my heart out. It's so powerful, and I love this series to death. Favorite manga ever. Drama, a book you'd love to see turned into a movie. I had this question recently in a different tag that I did. I'm gonna go with Hakusan by Amelia Atwater Rhodes. This is book 1 of the Kesha Ra. I don't like the other books, so it's the only one I own. The main character, Danica, is the queen of the Avians, And the other male character is Zane, King of the Serpients. The avians and serpients are shapeshifters, avians birds, serpients snakes, and they've been at war for an unknown amount of time, and they don't know why. They're just killing each other and killing each other. Neither one was the heir to the throne. Neither one was supposed to inherit the throne, but almost everyone in their family is killed off, and they are the only ones left, really. Except Tia's a sister, but males inherit first. The war has just gotten so terrible, and they have had enough, and so they decide to follow the advice of the tiger shapeshifters to get married and end the war that way. It's not that much of an original story, although the world is so original and so cool, and I will admit the other books take it further. Not the second one. The second one's not that good. But the other three take it so much further, and you learn so much more about their world and this war that has been going on. But I love this for the love story. I would like to see it as a movie because it only follows Danica's point of view. I'd love to see more of scenes that are from Zane's point of view. I'd love to see some actual fighting, because she's a girl. She is not in the fighting at all. She's seen blood and death, but she hasn't been in the front of battles and stuff, and I just think it could be so cool, and they could take it a little bit further than Amelia does, because she was like, what, 16 when she wrote this? She was really, really young. She was 9 when she wrote her first book ever published, and this was I'm guessing she might be 13 or 14 when she wrote this, so, but I'd love to see it as a movie. Music or band. Name a character that would have the same interests or tastes in music as you. As much as I don't like this character, I'm going with Orihime from Bleach. The reason I don't like this character is because all her potential, Tite Kubo, the author of Bleach, the mangaka, really doesn't give her a chance to explore. That is really Tite Kubo's part. I liked her at the beginning. I liked her potential, but Tite Kubo has never given it, and she exists mostly for fan service now, which is an insult to this character. But, you know, I thought about it, and she's a bit of an oddball, and I think she would like the same taste in music, even though she is Japanese, but I like Korean music. K-pop is huge in Japan. I like the #1 group of Japan, AKB48. I think she would like Lindsey Sterling and maybe even like Disturbed. I think she would have the weird, eclectic range of likes that I do. And I'd have to go with her. Out of everyone else, I think she would. Lunch. A food from a book that you would love to try. While I didn't like Half Prince by Yuo all that much, and while the character Meat Bun is talking food, I don't want to eat Meat Bun. Half Prince, I will link why I don't like the series down below. Half Prince is about a female protagonist in a world where virtual reality games are real, and the newest game, Second Life, it has 99.9% realism. And because of this, you're not allowed to create a character with a different gender than you. It has to be based on your looks and based on your gender, but she logs in, the first person to log in ever, she gains potential to get something for her character that she wants, whatever it is, and she has to be made into a guy. That's the point of the manga and the books. She gets a pet that is a talking Meat Bun, whose name is Meat Bun. Meat Bun somehow becomes the mate of a talking phoenix called Fire Phoenix. Very original names, these, yes. Meat Bun has this move where it can spit out raw meat, and when Fire Phoenix uses an attack, it cooks it, and apparently it's the most delicious thing any of the characters have ever tried. And it just has always intrigued me, and it just, my mouth is salivating, I want to eat that. Bus Ride Home. A book or author that relaxes you. I gotta go with author I talk about a lot, and that is John Flanagan. He wrote The Brother Band Chronicles and Ranger's Apprentice. And while these are middle grade, and they're kind of predictable, they're not super unique, to be honest. But what I love the characters, I do like the plots, even if I can call almost everything, but he always throws in a twist. And after reading things, I recently read Days of Blood and Starlight. That's a recent read. And I recently read this. It's the last book I finished. And after reading it, you know, I gotta say, he relaxed me a lot. Reading this was so relaxing. It's a lot of fun. There is drama. There is gasp-worthy moments. And I always love to try to figure out where he's gonna put in the twist. And I just love that. Last question for extra credit. Name a book that someone else recommended to you that you actually enjoyed. I talk about this author. I've done reviews for her books, but I haven't mentioned the fact that I had never heard of Tamora Pierce. And I never heard of these until Ellie Knight told me about them in high school. And in fact, she showed me the original covers of her books, which look like this, and they're hideous. So I didn't want to read them, but she finally managed to tie me down and forced me to read Alana the First Adventure, and I loved this. I didn't really like it, but I kept reading, and I fell more and more in love with the world, and in love with Tamora Pierce's message, and her writing style, and eventually I fell in love, and now I want to own all of her books, except for the Immortals Quartet. I'm not a big fan of it. It's not that it sucks, I'm just not a fan. Alright, so that's the back to school book tag. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I don't know why you're watching. Good luck with your reading. Subscribe to see more. I have a whole lot more coming, and I will see you soon. Goodbye! Let's try that again. I liked her potential. Sorry, it's hot. I gotta go with John Flanagan. I hurt myself again. It's so hot. Ow. I just made myself a book.